Hello, everyone. Just diving in today to talk to you about the fourth cornerstone of purpose. And this is something that I've been really procrastinating against doing live. I've been doing every other possible thing than jumping on here live. So I've just brought my little cacao friend here to keep me company. I even asked my husband if he would interview me so I didn't have to do it all by myself. It's so interesting to see the parts of us that show up when we need to lean into discomfort. And, so much of what I do in Living with Purpose is, hi, Cindy, is helping people to lean into discomfort. And so I have to do that for myself. And I've just been noticing the resistance in it and how I've been doing every other thing except showing up here live for you. So I am wanting to talk about the four cornerstones of purpose today. And I have always taught three cornerstones of purpose, and this is probably what you see a lot that people talk about. And really what makes my work different is that I really bring in this fourth cornerstone that I want to share with you today. And this has really evolved over time as I've evolved and as I've experienced working with hundreds of people through helping them find their purpose. And I'm going to talk a little bit towards the end about the Living with Purpose program, which the doors are open to right now. A few people have questions about it, so I'll address that later. But just as we're starting, I really want to talk about these cornerstones. So some of you might be aware of some of these. The first one that I really want to talk about when we're leaning into finding what it is we're here to do, what is our reason for being, our ikigai, is our strengths, is knowing what your strengths are. And that is something that I really encourage people to do, is to lead from your strengths. A lot of us are trying to polish our weaknesses, whereas what I want to help you do is really understand what are your strengths, what is your genius, what comes so naturally to you that maybe other people haven't, that other people find hard or difficult. So those are the things that you've always been able to do that have just, that maybe other people also comment on, that they're like, wow, you always have so much energy, or you can really problem solve this thing, or you've got such good attention to detail. These are your strengths. And that's one of the really important cornerstones that we lean into to help you really nail what your strengths are. And there's a whole lot of practices and processes that we can do to do that. So if you're just joining now, I'm talking about the four cornerstones of purpose. And I've also been talking about that I've been really procrastinating showing up here, leaning into my own discomfort. So the second cornerstone is our passion, and that is, what is it that we love? What brings us joy? What lights us up? What is it that we're doing where time just disappears when we're doing it? And it's not scrolling on Instagram, hopefully, but finding and remembering what it is that brings you joy. And sometimes when we've been of service to others a lot, and we've been giving to our children, to our family, to our work, we sometimes forget, what is it that lights us up? What is it that brings us joy? Maybe we've stopped doing it. And we can find a lot of clues in our childhood, remembering back to those things that you used to do that just, really expanded your heart and brought you that joy, because we want to bring that into whatever we do, because it's going to really motivate us when we can find that passion and joy in what we do. So the third cornerstone that I teach is being of service. And this is really the part of our purpose that brings the most benefits. We talk a lot about the benefits of knowing your purpose and living in alignment with your true essence and living your dharma and your calling and what you're here to do. And a big part of that is being of service. And all of the research shows us that when we have this altruistic part of us, this part that gives back, This is when we feel more joy. This is what contributes to us living 7 years longer when we know our purpose. So whatever we're creating from our strengths and our passion, we want to bring it together to be of service to others. And that being of service is incredibly motivating as well. Like, I would not be showing up here live today if I didn't want to be of service to other people in the world who are trying to find their purpose, because I do know what it feels like to not be in my purpose. I worked many years in a corporate job in investment banking that was not my purpose. And that feeling of being stuck, or like you're going through Groundhog Day, or that you just feel like you're on the treadmill, and you might not even do it in a job. It might be just at home or going through the motions of life. Can anyone resonate with that feeling where it's like we're just existing, we're just here, knowing that there's something more there? And that's a big part of my why, is like, I want to help people know that it's possible to really step into who you're meant to be here and to claim your full potential and your purpose. And it's just really understanding some of these cornerstones. So those are the 3 cornerstones that I've taught, and some of you have worked with me. I see some names up here that have worked with me on some of this stuff. So I made the mistake, and a lot of what I teach is through my own journey, and a lot of mistakes of, what do they say? Fall down 7 times, get up 8. That's definitely been my journey of finding my purpose. But what I have really discovered in this journey is that there is more to than just finding these 3. But I made a lot of mistakes. And one of those mistakes was diving out of my corporate world job into something I was passionate about. And I know for most of you, you'll think that's not a mistake, but it was a mistake because I didn't understand all the cornerstones. And I'm going to get to the 4th cornerstone. But what I did, I just want to show you an example, is I just followed my passion. And I was so passionate about the health and wellness part that I just wanted to get out and start a business in that. And I didn't lead from my strengths, and I didn't really truly bring all of me in to be of service to others. And it just meant that that business wasn't for me. It didn't bring me joy in the end. It didn't make me feel passionate in the end. So that was how I learned that cornerstone. I think I probably got into the banking one because of a strength of just being tenacious and really hardworking. And but again, that wasn't where I was aligning my strengths in the right place. So the 4th cornerstone that I want to share with you is inviting in our past. Okay, so often when we talk about purpose, it's all about, what do we want to do? What is everyone else doing? What's happening out there? What's on LinkedIn? What color is my parachute? Or whatever else it is that's trying to find this thing out there. And what it does is it doesn't go back in your life to find the answers for how to move forward. And that's what I really invite in. And I do this in 2 ways. So understanding your past is to help you understand the lens that you see the world through. So that's your beliefs, the belief system you created mostly from childhood. It's those thoughts that you've created. It's your nervous system's sense of safety that has developed over time, where you are always looking for threats, and you're always, that neuroception is saying, oh, what's going to hurt or harm me? And that's really what's stopping you from stepping into your purpose. So sometimes we need to update our past to be able to be safe enough to step into our future. And we have to be able to regulate our system so that it can do hard things. It can do things that we don't always want to do, like showing up here live, or using our voice, or asking somebody to give us money for our services. So the other part of our past that I bring in, so it's understanding who we are and what's holding us back, essentially, from an old program we've been running for a long time. But the other part of our past is looking at experiences that happened to us that were really difficult for us, that we might have wished never happened to us. And we often say, yeah, that happened to me. And this is my invitation that might be quite triggering for some of you, which is to say, everything that happened has happened for you. And I know the resistance that will come up for that for some of you, because you're like, no, that would never happen for me. And that doesn't take away the significance of what happened or the impact or the wrongness of it, but it's understanding that it has shaped you in some way that could actually be part of your purpose. And yeah, I can hear you saying, no, it should never have been part of my purpose. And it isn't for everybody, but a lot of the women that I work with, they go back to see some of these events. This is like the hero's journey, where we actually realize that what we went through has shaped us in some way that can help us to bring that forward and be of service to others. Okay, so my whole bumpy journey of finding my purpose has been enabled me to bring that in and hopefully share with others of how they can stand in their purpose. I'm going to give you another example of a woman who's been through my Living with Purpose program, who when she met her partner, he had already been married. He had 2 kids, and she was newly coming into this relationship, but had to come in with a really different dynamic of already having stepchildren and an ex-wife. And she wouldn't have maybe wanted it to have been like that. It wasn't easy to navigate how to suddenly come in and become a stepmom and navigate an ex-partner. And what happened through going through Living with Purpose is she took this experience and she realized that she could help other women go through what she went through. And that's what I mean when we experience something that maybe wasn't ideal, that we can actually be of service. Because remember, service is one of the cornerstones that I spoke about. So now she has started a podcast called In the Blend, and her name's Laura. And she is also starting an online course following from Finding Her Purpose, that helps you navigate being a step parent or coming into a family with stepchildren and an ex-wife, and she has created a whole program around that. So that's an example of how we can look back to move forward. And that's kind of the flow, that we look back, we understand who we are, we understand the lens we see the world, but we also understand the events that happen to us can be a window into how we are of service to others. So that's just a little overview of how I teach Living with Purpose. And of course, with each of those, we really go deep into it. And half of what I teach is what is holding you back from stepping into purpose. So those cornerstones, again, is your strengths, really understanding what it is that you're really good at, that comes naturally to you, that might be right in front of you that you didn't even realize was a strength. What are you passionate about? What lights you up? What gets you fire in the belly that you want to make a stand for? And what is it that we bring in to be of service? And that last one is, how do we integrate our past into our purpose to create our future? So for those of you who have sent me in some questions just about Living with Purpose, and feel free to pop in the chat now if you've got any questions on anything I've said. And if you have other ways of finding your purpose or things that have helped you, I'd love to see in the chat. But yeah, I'm just going to share a couple of things that people are asking. I'm just going to have a sip of my cacao so I can get really energized for the part 2 of this. But yeah, pop any questions in there. So Living with Purpose is actually starting next week. Now I've probably got a cacao mustache and I can't see without my glasses. So it's starting on Monday. So it's really, really soon that the doors shut on Sunday night. And this is a 12-week group coaching program. It's really small, so you're going to get a lot of loving on from me and a lot of attention from me. We have a whole online program that you follow, but every week we come together and we share the lessons and the learnings that you have got from the program, and we move in. I feel like I really need to do a cough here, which is hard on a live, excuse me. And we embody what it is that we're learning online, and we talk about it, and I coach you through it. So it's like a big part of it is me coaching you through finding your purpose and what's getting in the way of your purpose. So that's a lot of what the program is about. It is. I've tried to make it as affordable as possible this time. It's $5.85 per month for 3 months. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can't pay that, but I've made it into a payment plan for those who are interested in doing that. And in terms of the time, because that's such a big barrier that comes up for people, it's like, I don't have the time to do this. And what I would say about the time is, I encourage you to open up your phone, go into the screen time, and have a look at how many hours a day you are on your phone, or even how many hours you're maybe watching Netflix, because I think time is an interesting concept. It's really about, where are we spending our time and choosing to spend our time? And would you be willing for 3 months to really change your focus of where you're putting your time as an investment for your future? Because otherwise we just stay where we are and we try to work it out on our own. And as we've seen, and I've shared a lot, our nervous system doesn't like to do hard things on their own. We come together as a group to co-regulate, to feel safer. And that's how we actually can use our time in the best possible way, is to come and commune, so that we can do hard things, we can grow, we can learn. You can actually move beyond some of these old patterns and programs that are keeping you stuck in an old cycle and are stopping you from moving forward. And maybe there's some behaviors that for you are keeping you where you are. So yeah, anything that you want to ask me about, just send me a direct message. I can send you the link for more information. And yeah, doors closed Sunday. We're actually doing a Sunday morning meditation as well, if you want to join in. It's 8:30 New Zealand time, 6:30 Australian time. Just again, send me a message and I'll send you the Zoom link. We're actually going to take what I taught in my earlier masterclass and come and regulate our nervous system and feel an embodied experience of that. So you're welcome to join that as well. But if there's any questions, just let me know, pop them in the comments. I'll have a look if I can see anything. All right, guys, feel free to send me a direct message, and thanks for tuning in today. And I will look forward to seeing some of you in Living with Purpose next week, where we're going to go a lot deeper into every concept that I've talked about today. All right, see you later. Now I need to exit us out of here.